Welcome to Daily Brightness. This is our special guest episode. So we welcome you, David Copeland Smith, the man behind Beast Mode Soccer. He's just my rock, honestly. He's the male version of Millie for me. So we go back a long way, and he brings a lot more to my life than just football. But we want to have a little bit of an insight to the man behind Beast Mode Soccer. Obviously, Millie, you know him well as well, so that's good. Yeah, Dave, just a little bit on you, really. Welcome, first of all. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
All the way from Los Angeles while we're slumming it in the rain.
Mate, do you know what? You're slumming it in the rain. We're in the middle of a storm. I got absolutely drenched this morning.
Dave's got a bit of a weird accent, so...
Yeah, you need to pick a side, mate. Come on.
Are you English or are you American?
What are you?
I have both passports, but if anybody asks, obviously I'm English, unless it's immigration when I'm coming back in, and I'm like, hey, how are you guys? I'm American.
This episode is powered by British Gas, with Peak Save helping you get more out of Sundays.
With Peak Save, electricity is half price every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Perfect for putting the kettle on, watching the football, and running big energy appliance like your washing machine or dishwasher while you relax.
Same Sunday routine, same plans. You are just making the most of half price electricity for the things that use the most energy.
And with 5 hours of cheaper electricity every Sunday, the savings start to add up.
Plus, British Gas now have a new exclusive BWSL fixed tariff for fans, players, or anyone who's part of a club, guaranteed to be cheaper than the January price cap.
So Peak Save looks after your Sundays and the BWSL tariff looks after the rest of the year. British Gas backing the BWSL on the pitch and supporting fans off it as well.
Search British Gas Peak Save to find out more.
Terms and eligibility apply. Peak Save requires a smart meter and normal standing charges apply.
It's been 20 years, right? I've been here.
That's crazy.
And I'm from the Southwest, so I talk like this normally. I talk like a farmer.
Right up my street, that.
Hello, boy, how's it going? So I finally, got rid of that, and then I get this American twang, and I find I actually training this morning. I looked at the Sam, the girl I was working with. I was like, "Hey, can you pass me the ball?" And she just looked at me and she went, "Yeah, you sound American." I'm like, "No, not that it's a bad thing, but I like to keep my roots,
Yeah, we don't really hear much English coming out of your mouth, but that's a good way to start this episode. So 20 years you've been in America. Where did it begin?
Yeah.
How did it start?
I'd always done coaching on the side, and I got to an age where I was like, okay, I've got to get a real job. So I moved to London, moved to the big smog, and got a job in business advertising. And oh mate, I hated it. And it was good money. And I looked around this office and I was just like, I can't do this. I'm just gonna die in an office and not have seen the world. And unfortunately, unlike you two, I wasn't good enough to make a career, anywhere near good enough actually, to make a career out of football. Right. So I'd always done coaching. It was in my head well, maybe I should do something with my badges. And I looked into this thing called Camp America, where you go out to the States for 8 weeks and you work camps and you come back. And I did that. So I left the job in London and I did that and didn't like it. Didn't like it. The first 6 weeks, I was just like, mate, we speak the same language, but we've got nothing in common. Right. And I stayed it out because I was kind of dating a girl. So that was in New York. I did it then.
New York. He's coming back. Yes.
New York.
This is the rebirth of the UK man. Come on. He's back.
So dated this girl. She was in Indiana. I went to see her. Ended up staying for my full visa, 3 months. And then I had to move back. And I was like, you know what? I actually really, really enjoy coaching over here because the kids were really hungry for good information. And then I came back out with Major League Soccer camps, which was just another camp company for MLS. And it was in Florida. I actually remember it so well because I was in my mum and dad's kitchen, and I was meant to go out in July 2003. And I got an email saying, hey, can you go out in 2 days to Florida? And I'm like, yeah, I'll leave. Because I got couple of part-time jobs, just saving up money. I was working in a bank and the post office, and I moved out and loved it. Like, I was in Florida. I was working at a local rec team. Rec in the US, rec is like, how would you describe rec, Rach? Like, it's like
local
fun
football,
soccer where you're teaching the basics. They don't keep score. I mean, the parents do, but they don't keep score. You're meant to be teaching them, technical and stuff. And in Florida, it was the first time someone said, hey, can you do a one-on-one session with my kid? And I was like, why? And they're like, well, all you British guys do that. And I was like, mate, just ball in the ball, mate. And he kept pursuing it. And I saw firsthand that kids ate it up and their development curve spiked when you gave them that individual attention. I'll fast forward this because it's a long story. But a couple of years, I swear all my stories start like this. I was dating a girl, and we'll skip the part where my visa expired and I stayed. We'll skip that
skip
part.
that bit.
But I'm a citizen now, so I don't think I can be deported. So we drove to California and just blindly emailed all these schools, like high schools, and got a job at a place called Harvard Westlake, which is actually, Millie, where Alyssa Thompson went.
Nice.
Right?
I did not know that.
Yeah. So Alyssa went and Giselle went there. And I was doing what was known as JV, like junior varsity, like the second team. And again, like kind of liking it. Started to work with one of the varsity players. The first team players was Ali Riley. She didn't really like me at first, but she kept watching my sessions. And I'm like, what is it? I thought she was messing with me, like just, trolling me. But she came up to me, she's like, oh, hey, like my parents were wondering if you'd work with me. I've got a chance to play for New Zealand. And like me being me, I was like, oh, I can tell you're a Kiwi with your broad Southern California accent. But her dad is a full-on Kiwi, right?
Dave.
John was a lecturer at UCLA, like super smart guy. So I started to work with Riley. Fast forward, she did really well. She went to Stanford. She played in that 20s World Cup for New Zealand. Then I met Kelly O'Hara. How far do you want to go into this? Like, do we want to jump straight into Robbie Williams?
I only wanted the initial bit of how it all started, but you've basically finished it. So.
I'm in though. I'm locked in.
Yeah, I'm locked in. It's like story
because
time.
Also, I think it's good because Rach is going to come into this at some point. And my question was, how did you get to know Rach and how did you become best friends?
Let me tell you, Rach, top 3 players I've ever worked with, attitude. Just Rachel, and I tell all
That's my
players
bestie.
this, mate. Like, no, like for real, like I tell all players this. This girl has no ego when it comes to training. Like our first summer training, Rach would train with 10-year-olds. She didn't care. As long as she was doing her own thing. And I always put that down to her success, is like she just wants to get better. So Tracy Kevins, do you both know Tracy?
Yeah, do you remember Tracy
Obviously
Kevins?
do,
Like
Rach.
England. I think it was under 17s.
No, I didn't come in at under 17s.
Oh, you were later, were you? Yeah, you wouldn't have known her then.
Well, Trace works with Emma now on the US. But right, let me connect this. So I was living at Robbie Williams' house.
Oh no, it's not name dropping again.
Right, look at him go. Who does he think he is, just coming on podcast and name dropping like that? What do you mean? I'm just casually living there. Right, now we need a story. What the heck? How? What? Where? When?
He didn't know about it. I broke in. No, basically, Rob had this field at his house, one of his houses, on Mulholland in Beverly Hills, and my buddy Rocco invited me up to play, and we were playing up there, and this is like 2005, 2006-ish, but Rob wasn't there. He was on tour, and unfortunately, that was like a tragic time in my life. My best friend passed away. He had a brain aneurysm, and I was kind of all over the shop a little bit, right? Like, when that happens, you're never prepared, are you? Right?
No.
Like family, friends, it's just not expected. And I was a bit of a mess. And then one day, like, Robbie Williams walks onto the field. And I kind of knew something was up because usually there was like, 12, 13 people there. And this time there was like 40. And you're like, oh, what's going on? And I guess someone told him about my situation. And it was like the guy took it on himself to make sure I was all right. So that day, I'm like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I'd been in LA for a couple of years, well, maybe a year. And I'd met some like, pretty up there people. Like I'd worked with Al Pacino, his kids. So I'd go to his house and stuff.
Here we go again.
And you were like,
Dave just want to take over
like,
the podcast and we'll just like, you interview us or something.
I can't help it. I'm not even name dropping. It's just facts. And so, but I'd been around those types of people, right? So, I watched some of the 06 World Cup, Argentina, I think it was Ivory Coast, in Al's house, talking to Scarface about football, which is bizarre, right? But it was Robbie Williams. And this was like 2006, where, I don't live in the UK anymore, so I don't know the star power that Rob has. But at that time, it was like, wow, like this guy's like walking on. And he came up to me. He's like, oh, someone told me about your mate. Do you want to come into my house for a cup of tea later? And I'm like, this isn't your house? He's like, oh, I've got another one. I'm like, okay. And the guy just really looked after me. And I've got a plethora of stories about Rob bailing me out of situations and never talking about it again. Right. And it's why I'm very protective about him, because one story about Rob, right? Rachel's debut for England under Mark Sampson, sorry. Rob loves football, right? And I dropped him a text. I was like, hey, because I think he'd moved back to England then. I was like, hey, if you're interested, one of my players making a debut for England today, watch it. Let me know what you think. And he tweeted to her. And that was when like Twitter was like, boom.
I remember coming off the game and I was like, oh, my debut, it was like the best thing ever. And then I was like, I got on the bus and I think it might have been KB or someone who was like, hey, Robbie Williams has tweeted you, Rach. I was like, what the fuck? What? my mum was gassed. Like people, it's like one of those things that you're just like a bit surreal.
Yeah. And I could do a whole podcast on the generosity of that guy and how he's misunderstood.
Is that where you started your sessions, at his, like training people out of his pitch?
So I was doing one-on-ones and he let me use the field to do it. And so I started to work with Riley.
Why don't you tell our podcast listeners in England how difficult it is to get a pitch or any sort of space available to train people in California?
In Los Angeles, field space is more valuable than gold, right? Because what happens, it's a weird situation over here. Like public parks get taken over by private clubs and you just can't use them. And, Rob was like, well, why don't you just use the field? And I'm like, oh, okay. So I started to work with players. It's really hard to get field space. But obviously, when I started with that, people would come up and train and they're like, what is this? Because on one side of the field, you had a view of Beverly Hills and the other side, you got a view of the valley. It's insane. Do you remember Rod Stewart's house, Rach? Right? It's like that, but on top of the hill. So you see both sides. And so I was having players come up. Riley came up and then Riley was the first one that we got into a co-ed game with a girl called Jill Oakes, who also played for the national team. She coached with me. But it really kicked off from there because, Riley did really well and Kelly O'Hara did really well. And then the WSL folded, or WPS folded. And so we had a local team called Pally Blues, which you played for as well, Rach. So a lot of players were coming out there, but they were looking for good training. So I had Abby Wambach come up and train. And then Abby starts tweeting about it. And it kind of steamrolled from there, right?
It's one of those things, isn't it? Like social media then is like the boomer for you.
It was definitely the domino effect for me. And I've always had this outlook of, I don't ask people to tweet or repost stuff like pros, because I feel like if you're good enough, people talk about you.
It's been authentic, hasn't it? And genuine.
Yeah. And if you're really good, people say good things and bad things about you. And you're only really good when you know when you're really good because people talk shit about you.
Hey, bestie, we must have made it.
Damn! Woo!
Damn, mate.
Yeah!
Millie's really made it the last couple of weeks.
Hey, my hair's still not grey though, so you ain't one yet. Keep trying, guys. Keep trying.
So if you're good enough, people will talk. So we had like Pressy started to train with me all the time. Bianca D'Agostino, like all these good level pros. And all I was focused on was development. Like all I was focused on is being really, really good. So they kept coming back. Because you can train a player a couple of times, it doesn't mean anything. If they ain't coming back, you're not good enough. And then Kelly O'Hara texts me. She's like, Dave, can I bring a couple of friends up tonight? And I'm like, oh, Kel, like, it's a good level tonight. Because in the summer, we used to have a bunch of Prem players come over. Right? Because don't forget, it's Robbie Williams' house. And you guys know that there's that celebrity athlete crossover, right? Where everybody wants to be each other's friend. And I was kind of like, the little peon. Because Rob would be like, oh, Dave, like, Sean Wright Phillips wants to come up. Here's his email. Right? And I'm like, no worries. No worries, Sean Wright Phillips. I'll help you out.
Dave,
Did you
have to group people together based on their ability? Is that's something that when you did like more than one player, did they have to be of the same level for the sessions? Just so everyone understands.
Yeah, not all the time, but there'd be no massive gaps. So I'd have some like college players training with them, and there wasn't massive gaps. But if it was levels, then yeah, 100%, because you don't want anyone like bringing the house down. So Kel texted me and I was like, listen, there's some Prem players come out. They've got to be good because if they're not, they're on your team. And she's like, yeah, no worries. And it was Alex, Morgan and Tobin Heath. And imagine Tobin Heath in small-sided, right? Like the woman, she was sick enough 11s, but small-sided, like untouchable. So we're playing and I'm like, I'm going to test Alex because this big thing was like a big cage, right? So I'm like, I'm going to test this girl against the fence. And I'm in good shape. I'm in good shape now. Don't talk bad on yourself, Dave. Got abs, bro. Right? So I go in on her on the fence and it was like hitting a brick wall. I imagine it'd be like hitting Millie. Right? You're just like, oh, ow. And she just laughed at me. And afterwards, Alex was like, oh, I just wanted to see how you were as a trainer. Like, will you train me? Like, we're getting ready for whatever it was, the Olympics and all of that. And it really kicked off from that. And I've really tried to keep the integrity of what I do. As in, the focus has never been social media. The focus has been giving mad value to these players. And, I think that the testament is, I trained Alex from 2012 till the end of her career. The testament is Rachel Daly from college. Rach, you're in a World Cup final. You won the Euros. Can you imagine driving up Beverly Glen in my truck and us talking about you probably never playing for England because you'd pissed people off? Can you imagine this?
Yeah, I know, and
Dave
I think that
goals, here he is.
Oh no, seriously.
I'm never going to mention names because that's not cool.
No, but there was a massive period of time where I was like, I'm never going to get picked for England again. There's no point even having it in my mind. Like, this story, Mills, but I did go through that. I was like, I'm never going to play for England, so there's no point. And I remember having conversations with you all the time, Dave, and being like, it's not even on my radar because what's the point? But like, still, I just wanted to be the best that I could be for whatever level I was at. The way I met Dave, right, Mill, you'd appreciate this. So I'd gone to play in the summer league. So, I told you in America I was ineligible for my first season, like I couldn't play. So I was like, I need to play in the summer. So I went to LA, played in this summer league team, and Dave showed up, right? Didn't know him, never met him. My first training session, and I was like, well, what's he doing? Who's this? Like, who's this then? Who's
this clown?
Pulls out a bag of tennis balls. Can you imagine my reaction? I went, what the fuck are they for? And he was like, juggle with them. And I was like, nah, not juggling with tennis balls. Obviously I did, but I was like, oh. And literally, like, we just slated each other the whole session, and then we just became like best mates, and that was it. Like from then on, from that day forward, I just did like every day train with him.
Mate, shout out Tracy
That's
Kevins,
sick.
by the way.
Yeah, but what I like about Tracy in that situation was that she allowed you. She saw what you were like. That was probably like the beginning of when you were getting big.
It was Rach. Like I was on holiday in London, and Trace DM'd me and was like, "Hey, I'm moving to LA. I want to talk to you about coaching." And I was like, "All right, like I'm in Hammersmith. Come meet me at Starbucks." And she did, and she's like, "Can you come in once a day or once a week?" And that was how we met.
How do you think that individual development is? Like, how important do you think it is? Like an IDP?
Oh, massively, 100%. And
but do you think it gets overlooked?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's valued more in America than it is in England.
He's shouting at the dog.
Dave, you can leave it on. We do this every episode. Don't worry.
Okay, all right.
We've got our 4 dogs that go crazy all the time. Don't worry about it. Just shout and do what you need to do. But yeah, I do think it's bigger. I think it's becoming. I think we're getting to that place in England where you see a lot of coaches, but I think back to like Dave's point is I don't think you see a lot of that. A lot of it now is social media. That's how you see of it. Whereas actually, I think when you look at Dave's situation, the proof's in the pudding. You see these players performing week in, week out on the world's biggest stages. You see them still developing no matter what age they're at. I think for me, that is the beauty of his story and what he's achieved. Where I think a lot now, there's probably loads of good coaches out there doing one-to-ones, but I think a lot like really drive social media and really try and do it that way, as opposed to, like Dave said, just the product, work on the product. And if they keep returning, that's the key. Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't think there's enough investment in the UK for that yet. I don't know why, but like you don't really have, like in the women's game, you don't really have like just an individual technical coach, do you? Like they're all like
I don't know why teams don't do that though, where they bring in someone like Dave, and then that's you work with people, but within the club environment. Because I also think in England, it's harder to do things outside of your club than it is.
You can't outsource someone, can you? You can't go to training and then go and train with someone else.
You have to have a conversation. You have to check, is it okay? Can I do this? If you're on a Christmas break, it's different, but you still have to okay it. It still has to be you can't just like go and do it. Whereas I feel like in America, you can, if you're going to go better yourself, you can. Whereas I think in England, there's so many like people to get through. It becomes a bit of a nightmare.
Millie, it's exactly the same here. Like there's so much gatekeeping here. So pro clubs over here have just started to get IDP coaches, but they employ their friends, right?
Yeah,
they're employing coaches. They're employing coaches, not specialists. So they'll be like, "Oh yeah, but this guy's got a UEFA Pro." I'm like, "Cool. What have they done individually? Who have they trained? Let me see your development." It's a specific
role, isn't it? And you can obviously explain that better than anyone.
It is the most frustrating thing, because I went to Mexico to do it. I went and worked for a club called Tigres Femenil. It means tigers, women, right? And
nice little accent there. Can you just say it one more time?
Dave does actually speak Spanish.
Sí, yo hablo español, ¿eh? Entonces, pero
go on, the boy.
El equipo es Pumas. But I went down to Mexico to do it, and I loved it. And I got there, and someone said to me, they're like, "You're going to have a hard time here," because it was one of the assistants. It's like, "You're going to have a hard time here because the players won't listen." And I wasn't worried because I'm like, I don't care if you don't listen. If you don't want to improve, that's on you, isn't it?
Yeah.
And one of the first days I had like Jackie Uvaye, who's the most costly signing in the world at the moment. She went to Orlando, and I had me official. And all my days, they were hungry, man. Like Jackie, no English. And at the time, my Spanish was awful. Yet we communicated enough where every day, whether it was an 8-minute block or a 20-minute block, at the beginning of the day, she's like, "What are we doing today? ¿Qué haces hoy? ¿Qué hago hoy? ¿Qué haces hoy?" And I'm like, "All right, today we're doing it. Boom, boom, boom." And if it's done correctly, it is amazing. I wrote a massive thing on LinkedIn the other day. No one's doing it correctly in the US. And I'm probably putting myself in the firing line there by, not mentioning clubs' names, but no one's doing it correctly. And they're so arrogant, and it's probably the same in the UK. They're so arrogant, they will not listen to me. I spoke to a TD the other day in an English team, and she thinks that the way the game's going is like the NFL and the NBA. Remember when Tom Brady started to bring his own people in?
Mm.
She thinks that's going to happen. She's like, the players are going to want to bring their own technical coaches in.
Well, I think that, like, as a player, like, if you want to go to the next level, right, and you're willing to put, like, we're all willing to put in the hard yards. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're all willing to just do whatever it takes to be the best we can possibly be. But a lot of our training sessions, you'll probably say the same. You know, like, it's like, think about when we were at England, for example, right? It's very much tactical leading up to the games, right? So there's a lot of tactical training, which you 100% you need to do. Don't get me wrong, there's elements of technical, but like, it's not individual specific. Like, you're not really gonna reach your full potential in a week's worth of training, normal team training. Like, you have to do extra. You have to do the things that you want to work on. Like, Mills, you might not be exposed to that much defending, let's say on a walkthrough, or I don't know, like, there'll be, like, I always want to do finishing. I want to do, you know, Dave, like, I want to hit different finishes. I want to, if I've missed a chance in a game, I want to work on that same chance over
but don't
and over
even
again.
think you're held back because it's like loading now.
Then
Or you only get 10
loading.
shots.
Yes.
And I'm like, but that's impossible. Like, what if I have 10 shit shots and I don't get the
I
outcome
need
that
10
I need,
good ones
and
after that.
and then rolling into the next. And I do think that is a big thing now. It's like loading, and there's like a million different things. And 9 times out of 10, training sessions are very specific to the team needs, which, like you said, rightly so, that's great. But
if we improved every individual,
how are you going to excel in your position? Like, my touch and pass is different to a striker's. Do you know what I mean?
I'm a huge advocate for, like, technical development. Like, I 100%. Swear by it.
You have to train it to be better.
Loading is hyper important, right? But what kind of irks me a little bit in that part of the coaching community is like be all and end all. And what they do not take into account is a player like Rachel and players like Alex, they needed extra work. Maybe not for the reps, but for the psychological aspect. Yeah. Right? Like Alex working with me 2 weeks before a camp, before a World Cup. Did those reps make a lot of difference? Probably not. But the fact that she knows that she's ready and she's taken, you know, a couple of thousand shots in the last 2 weeks, she is pissing confident. Rachel Daly flying me out to Houston to do reps of a cross and a finish. The psychological effect is way more than the technical effect for that. You know, I've got video of me and Rach training, and a week later she scores the exact same goal. Exactly.
I love it when you put them clips up.
It's frightening. But it's frightening, and that's what we're missing. And it's always going to be me against them, and it shouldn't. We should collaborate, and that's what I loved at Tigres is the collaboration aspect. And Carmelina Moscato was the head coach, so she forced that collab on everyone. She's like, "This is what's happening," and I think it just goes to show, like, football's still being gatekept. Right.
Do you think that you'd ever come back to England to do this role if the opportunity was there?
Yeah. 1, would you ever come back to England? And 2, would you work in a club environment?
1, I would come back if Arsenal called.
Big Arsenal fan over there,
and
Dave.
2, I would want to work in a club environment. What I'd love to do is work with the US, right? With the US women's national team squad, because I work with a bunch of them anyway, and I would love to go into camp and liaise with their clubs, and, you know, if their clubs have got IDP, liaise with them so everybody's on the same page. Everybody's going toward the same direction with this kid. Like, let's take a Claire Hutton, for example, right? You know Claire?
She's a new one coming on the scenes, isn't she? She's good, though.
Rach, I had Claire when she was 17. She come down. I was in New York doing a camp. And she came down from Albany. First day I looked at her, I said, "What's your plans?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm going to go to UNC. I'm like, "No, you're not. You're going pro, mate." And I got on the phone to an agent and we got her signed. She's like you. Carries a ball everywhere with her. Still. Still, she's different. But imagine like a player like Claire who's still young. I think she's 18 still, 19 maybe, right? And everybody's on the same pace. So Emma's like, Dave, this is what I want her to do. Then I call the club and be like, right, what do you guys need from her? Right. Then you build out a huge IDP where she's doing 10, 12 minutes a day extra. That compounds, right? That's an hour a week.
Do you do on the IDP, Dave? Do you, because obviously me and Rach have experienced it more from like a club IDP, and a lot of it, some of it is given by coaches, but a lot of it is driven by ourselves, isn't it, Rach? Like you fill in the boxes, or do you, when you're creating the IDP and you spoke to coaches, are you analysing that player and then are you saying, right, we're doing this?
I get everybody's viewpoint, Millie, but my IDPs are driven by data. Right, and fact. It's evidence-based IDPs. Because if I look at Rach, I might have an opinion, and Rach might have an opinion, and we could both be wrong. And the coach will have an opinion. Whereas, so I'll study, like my IDPs are psycho, honestly.
They are insane.
I know I did one with Diego Luna, who's like a upstart for the US men's national team. I was in Portland working with him. And he went to the Nike people going like, this guy knows my game better than I do. And it's 20 hours of research, right? So I know what you need to work on. With Rach, it was always easy because Rach is actually very, very astute and she knows what she wants to work on. The biggest problem with Rachel is that she was her own worst enemy. Rach could score 3 goals and text me going, I was shit today. I should have scored 4.
Dave, let me tell you, I have debriefs after every single training session, every single day, every single game. Best day, get kettle on, we're having a debrief. Also, she could have had the best game in the Euro and she'd be like, oh, I'm getting dropped next game. Yes. That's it. I'll be dropped. You're not.
Yeah. I'll misplace the pass in the 63rd.
And I'll know exactly when it was, won't I?
She will. She'll be getting it up. She'll have it 30 seconds later. She'll have the huddle clip. She'll be like, see, should have done this. Why didn't I do this?
But I also think if you took that away from her, she wouldn't be who she was.
No, of course
she wouldn't be who she was.
Go on then. What was Rachel's IDP? I'm intrigued now. What did you analyse?
I could bring it up. I've got early IDP. Mate, IDPs are so good now. Back in the day, I used to have... Do you remember when I used to hand clip your games? Right? But Rach was actually easy because she's got such a big range. So with Rachel, it was more about adding to her game than transforming her game. Right? So Rach can score from 30 yards and she can score from 6. Rach can score with her head, she can score with her left, she can score with her right. Her movement is world class. What do you work with? It's mostly reps of doing, right, where's she missing the most? What zone of the field is she missing the most? Let's work there. Because you don't want to touch everything else, you just want to polish that. But can I add 5% to Rachel's game? Right? And if that 5% is mental, can I add that?
We used to have fights all the time on the field, though, didn't we? When you used to train me, I used to get so annoyed at you.
She cried once.
So, Dave, what would you say has been the hardest challenge of like the career that you've had? Obviously, being over in America, I know you've been there for 20 years now, but what has been the hardest challenge that you've faced?
That's a good question. Getting people to take what I do seriously as a profession. Because it's all I feel like it's always me against the establishment. You know, it's like people are your friends when they're playing, and then they get into coaching environments and they go through the establishment order, and all of a sudden it's like, it doesn't really work what you do. I'm like, but it worked for you.
Yeah.
But now you've been brainwashed again. So I think that's kind of coming to an end because, you know, I've got a proven record. But I would say that's been the biggest battle. Yeah.
Well, let's hope we keep changing people's perceptions because we value it as players. And I think definitely the proof's in the pudding. The players that you've worked with have played on the biggest stages and had the best stats, the best careers. So hopefully people start listening and taking it seriously. I'd like to think we're definitely moving forward. And if the players are saying it's needed, then I think people would like to listen to that. And what has been the best moment for you, like looking back over all them years? What's the one moment where you stand out?
There's a couple. I've got goosebumps thinking about Rach lift the Euros and then walking around in a cowboy hat, you know, like
cowboy hat.
The relationship that we had just seeing her growth, and then obviously Martin passing away, and you battling back through that.
I can't be doing that today, Dave.
We need to go on to gratitude.
No, battling through that, and then obviously the World Cup final. I'm still a little bit flummoxed about not playing a second half, but it's all right. It's all right. And then the other ones are obviously Alex, because I had Alex for 12 years, and Alex is like Rach, man. She is loyal. She's like Georgia from Love Island. I'm loyal.
Me, babe.
Right? She's loyal, and she exactly the same as Rach. She took me on the journey with her, and she never forgot. And like Alex took me to a Super Bowl, just to thank me, and seeing her lift the World Cup, seeing her with the Olympics. But Rach, I always describe Rach is like my sister. So seeing her come to fruition like that. And Tracy Kevins always says, like, Dave, the one player you'll be known for is Rach, because none of us expected it.
Oh, I love you two's friendship. And honestly, for anyone that doesn't know Dave, get to know Dave. Go support his business. But also, I think just the person that you are is incredible. And I know Bestie as well. She is a loyal person. She definitely don't forget the ones that help her from the beginning.
Oh, mate.
But yeah, yours two friendship is extremely special. And I feel lucky that she has you as well. So yeah, we have a lot of love for our Bestie, don't we?
Honestly, I'm the lucky one. She's a rock star.
She's a good egg, isn't she?
Oh my God,
She's not had a bad career, has she? She's a national treasure.
Not too bad.
I don't like all the compliments. Okay, Dave, so just before we go,
yes.
First, me and Millie do this thing on our podcast every time, right? It's like a closing thing. So the first thing is called block and delete, which is Millie's favourite thing. So it's basically like something that really pisses you off that you'd like to change. Like adverts on games. Like I'm playing a game on my phone and adverts come on. Go away.
No, pay the $3.99.
That's what
I
said. Okay. I'm not saying I won't, but it just is irritating. So can you give us an example of something that annoys you on a daily basis, or something that's annoyed you this week? Block and delete.
Oh, mate, how long have you got?
No, just one.
Really annoys,
just one.
Really annoys me.
Here he is. He's off. I love it.
When you're in the supermarket, right? You're in a supermarket and the aisle, and someone turns their shopping cart trolley. Someone turns their
good
trolley
correction.
This way, and then they're looking this way, and they block the whole thing. So what I do now is I take my phone and I walk by. I'm like, oh, some dickheads block the aisle again. And they look, and I'm like, and I'll roll my eyes and push their trolley out of the way.
Hey, that's the farmer in you, that's the farmer. Don't tolerate no bullshit.
I wasn't expecting that. But I love how quickly people can come up with these on the spot.
Yeah, and straight away that really pissed me off.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, and then the next thing we do is called gratitude. It's self-explanatory. So we say something that we've been grateful for this week. So, for example, mine this week was my boiling hot tap, so I can get instant cup of tea.
Have you got one of those?
Yeah, sick.
Or it can be a person, like before we've said a person, or anything this week where you're like, shit, that was really nice, that.
I'm grateful for Trader Joe's protein pancakes, because they're pre-packaged and they're 20 grams of protein. But honestly, this is going to sound like a bit lame, but I'm grateful for you guys.
Hey, there's no lame gratitude. Let's just rewind.
Right, did you hear what he just said?
Thank you very much.
Did you hear what he just said then?
Yes, I did, but start again. And this is not a lame gratitude. It's a gratitude, no matter how big or small it is. That's what we're grateful for. Yeah,
I'm thankful for you guys for bringing me on here. The last time we could have done this at the wedding.
Oh, I don't think
probably not.
I don't think it would have been acceptable. I don't think our camera ready.
I think we'd have got blocked and deleted.
Hey, I'm good. I don't drink.
After a few, our mouths run a little bit too free, so I think it's better in this.
No, you guys were. How good was that wedding, by the way?
Oh, Dave, we want to relive it. When
I feel like this has been the story of everybody we've had so far. We've had Ellie Roebuck, Alicia, and now you, and obviously all three were at the wedding. So it's like it closes.
By far the best wedding ever.
Oh, mate, it's the most fun I've had for ages, man.
Remember when you forgot to bring your stuff and you were like, oh, were I meant to bring it with me? Yeah, you were.
Literally. 45 minutes before the ceremony is about to start, Dave's like, I've left my stuff at the hotel that I'm not going back to.
I put it down to you guys' communication because Brooke was in the same boat and she's the smartest person that we know.
True.
So,
but you made it and everything was good.
Hey, shout out to someone else who gets a lot of hate is Alicia Lehman.
Oh,
nicest person in the world, mate.
Honestly, have you listened to our episode with her?
Yeah.
It's so good. And I love that we were able to like hear that side of her and like hear like the struggles that she's gone through, and she's literally a gem.
Like literally nicest person in the world.
But there's so much hate around lately. Like people, I'm literally like, what are you doing in day-to-day life? Like mate, I would love to have the luxury just to sit there and do nothing. Like it's crazy.
COVID turned bored people brave. It really did.
There's far too much hate at the minute.
Yeah, like why?
I don't know. Honestly, you can't. If you breathe in the wrong direction, you're a terrible person. If you people are quick to jump at anything you say. They immediately think you're a shitty person, and she meant it like this, and she said it like this, and I'm like, you don't know anything about me as a person or anyone else for that matter. But honestly, the world.
Millie Bright. Let me tell you, Millie Bright is a national treasure. Like,
your post was really cute.
Stop it with this shit. But it's true, like, Millie, I'm fed up with people trolling really successful people. People who have done shit that other people can only dream of.
I think that's why we like to do what we do on the podcast, and even bringing people in, like it's people that add value to it, like people that have a story or people that have been on a journey or people that get it and like kind of like-minded humans. And like for Alicia, for example, it was so nice to like give her that opportunity, that platform to just be who she was and like for people to see that. And I think that's really important. But
mate, the fact that she could have done that podcast in 4 languages. What?
I know.
And even then people are like, Swiss is not a thing. And like, you understood the point though. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, we're here for it. Thanks for having our backs.
Mate, we didn't even get to talk about you spending time at Rod Stewart's house.
Oh, named
Hey, listen, love, you'll be back on for another episode because there's far too much to pack in one episode. But just before we go, talking about success, what is next for Dave?
I have been investigating working with a club again. I would love to go down and work with Tigres again or with this team, Pumas, in Mexico City.
Shout out.
Ultimate for me would be working with Emma because I think Emma's like really breathed a massive breath of fresh air into US soccer. That was really American soccer.
Really, really.
Yeah, and continue to grow what I do. Be the anti-social media person by actually posting exercises that help people instead of clickbait, and live a happy and fruitful life.
We love that. Well, Dave, we wish you all the best. Emma Hayes, eat your heart out. Incredible human. Get him on board. Just don't help them improve against England, please. I still root for my country. Come on, England.
That was hard. 2019, wasn't it?
Thanks so much for coming on the pod. We're definitely going to be getting you back on because there's far too much to unpack. I need to know
we'll do a part
Stewart
2
and the parties. So part 2 coming soon of Dave. And what a lovely trio this is, by the way.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I love it. My 2 besties.
This was so much fun. Thank you for having me.
Whole lot of love. We'll be back soon, guys. Hope you enjoyed that episode. BRB.
Bye.